Let's hit you guys with the classic here. Alright, so we are inside the Miata to do a recap of how 2019 has been. We're officially in 2020. This is January 2nd. And I got quite a bit to talk about, relating to this car mostly, because it was the only car I had for most of the year. So, dating back, a little over a year ago, I actually bought this car. I bought it at, I think I just checked the pictures of when I first bought the car, which I'll put those up. They were taken at night. I bought the car, I'd like to say at like 10:59, I believe was the timestamp on him. So I bought it late. I had him deliver it to me because at the time I couldn't drive stick and nobody wanted to go far out to get the car. And I paid $1,300, had him deliver me the car, and I didn't drive it that night. I had my friend who wanted to see the car, wanted to see me buy the car, and he wanted to help me. He'd test drive it for me. He drove it, so I rode in it, and it was still extremely fun. I was super excited. Even when he told me things that were broken, I had already agreed with the guy selling it. No matter what condition the car was in, I was buying it because he was coming all the way out from like Yuma to deliver it. So he told me a couple things wrong with it. It idled high. There was some really ghetto wiring in here, which there still is. I haven't been able to get rid of it because the car keeps breaking, which we will get into. So I bought the car for $1,300, and then the next day I woke up and my stepdad was like, "Why aren't you driving your car?" I was like, "I don't know how to drive stick. I was just gonna look at it today, I guess." And he said, and I was also like, it was like 8 in the morning on a Sunday, 8 or 9 in the morning, and the car was open header, if you guys remember when I bought it. No exhaust whatsoever. I was like, it's loud, I don't know how to drive stick. Like, I was just gonna wait till I could find an exhaust for sale, just buy it, put it on there, and then I'll start practicing. He was like, it don't matter, get out there and do it, essentially. And I was like, okay, so I grabbed the key, hopped in, fired up the car, and drove. Like, I didn't have too much of an issue. I mean, a lot of people say it's super easy driving a Miata, even manual, just because it's such a forgiving car, which it is, but I had never really driven stick at that point at all. I got a 98 VR6 Jetta in gear a couple times and rolled around, but even then I did terrible, but it had a stage 2 clutch, so my cousin kind of gave me a little leniency on that one. I did bring my brother with me. I did stall like 2 or 3 times on certain turns. It seemed like I just couldn't get him down. But the main thing was the clutch was really out of adjustment. The pedal's out of adjustment. You know, if you have this much pedal, and you push it all the way down, it would do nothing, and start engaging at the very end. So you only had like this much engagement. It was pretty bad. It was also it would be really stiff and like kick your foot back off. So it needed to be adjusted, which I did as best I could, and then I just kind of got used to it. And so later on, I bought the exhaust for the car. I paid $50. I went one night, took the Suburban, and just pulled it off. The guy had just wrecked his Miata, so there's a couple other parts on his car I wanted, but I never ended up getting. Like, he had a soft top I wanted, and he had, what else did he have? It was something really dumb that somebody else had asked her. Oh, he had the little piece that holds down the shift boot, which I now have one, but my center console's broken and all the stands off. This clips to a piece of plastic, and then the piece of plastic screws into the center console, and all of my standoffs for the screws are busted off. So the center console's pretty much useless. So I put on the exhaust. Everything went great. Sounded perfect for me. I loved it, mostly because I hated the open header. Like, I thought it was funny. It was kind of ignorant, whatever. I didn't think it was cool. Like, I wasn't some racer who thought like, oh, open header is so cool. It's loud and fucking backfires a lot. I just thought it was funny because it was so ignorantly loud. But when I got the exhaust on, I loved it. And then I started daily driving the Miata. I registered it in my name. I registered it in my name before the exhaust. So I think it was like 3 or 4 days after I bought it. I registered it in my name. But I didn't drive it every day because it was too loud. I'd occasionally take it to work if I had to. So then once I got the exhaust, I was dailying the car every day. And then, what did I get next? After the exhaust, it was mostly small things and fixing stuff. I'm not going to get too into detail because this video could be a while. It'd be forever. But some of the things I had to fix in the meantime was the radiator blew apart. It wasn't brown like most Miata radiators do. It just broke on one of the what's that called? The core. And it took me an hour and a half to do like a 20-minute drive because I would drive as hard as I can until it starts overheating, pull over, fill it up with water, and go. And by the time I got home, it was fully blown apart. It wouldn't hold water for more than like a minute. So I went and got a new radiator. I installed that. And then the next thing to break was the transmission. It didn't break. It got stuck in gear. A lot of Miata guys know if you flick the transmission a certain way or you yank it, you can get the transmission stuck. So it was stuck, and it was really stuck. It did not want to come undone, so I bought the transmission I have now for $50 off my friend, the same one who helped me test drive the car. And then I put in that clutch, the new master, or the new slave, throwout bearing, all that stuff. And I drove around, and then I put in a soft top, which is the same one here, which a lot of people told me don't go with auto berry, and that the window would just rip out immediately. And this one's perfectly fine. It's not even lifting at all. The worst I've had was a couple little strings were coming loose, but I just took a lighter and went across the edge, and it just kind of burned them all up. That and this thing. I put this on correctly. At first I did it wrong because I didn't know how. Then I put it on correctly where you put it back here. And this bar would just fall down. And I kept trying to figure it out. I couldn't. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to wrap it. And now I can go up and down with the top and it'll stay exactly where it needs to be. So it's not like I got to adjust every time I put the top down and up. And then I noticed a couple things about these auto berry tops. This one, when I bought it, was marketed as like the new design. And I think they just fix small issues. Like a lot of people say it'll tear right here. So they put these extra thick patches on each side. And that was pretty much it. After that, I got my first tax return. And I bought coilovers, which they are the Max Speeding Rods coilovers, not the very top of the line model. These ones are like kind of the mid tier. They have adjustable dampening and they feel great. They keep the car planted perfectly. And then a couple of things I've bought for the car between the coilovers and doing the transmission again from blowing up the clutch was my girlfriend got me the steering wheel, carbon fiber wheel. I got those wheels and tires. I got that body kit, which I sold the body kit because I really didn't want to cut the car. The wheels and tires are in storage. Or the wheels, not the wheels and tires. The wheels are in storage. Ooh, I bought the coilovers at the same time as these. I installed the coilovers at the same time as the transmission. What else did I get? Oh, I got the horn button. That's right. And that's pretty much it with that. After that transmission went on, that's when I got the new tires for the car. I bought a digital dash. I just have to get the sensors for it. I did buy the plastic retaining clip for the center console, but I have to get a new center console, which I may end up getting the redesigned one so I can have the little cup holders. I have a couple of other things. I have a carbon fiber headlight cover, which I have the passenger. I want to get the vented intake side, or the vented driver's side. That's pretty much it for mods. So pretty much I rounded out the end of 2019 with developing rod knock in the Miata, and then buying the Mazda 6, which is just over there. And then with the Miata, or with the Mazda 6 first, I did just the spark plugs and the intake manifold gaskets, or the plenum gaskets, the little oval shaped ones. I did not do the coil packs. I really just didn't have the money for it, which I'm going to go back and do them now because I still have a pretty rough idle, but it may be some other things I need to check. And then I attempted to do the rebuild on the heads, or the lifters on here, hoping it wasn't rod knock and it was just like really bad lifter clatter from collapsed lifters, and that was not the case. It's still rod knocked. And occasionally I would take the Miata just around the corner because I don't want to have it sit and have anything, else break like that. And my apartment complex can complain about stuff, so I'm stopping them from doing that. And I don't want to put a flat spot on my tires. And during the last test drive, the Miata motor, blew up. I was driving, and I could feel it just kind of hit a stop. And the knock got way worse. I don't think I have the second key in the car. So I'm going to have to go without starting it, I guess. But the car broke pretty bad. It was really upsetting. And it's kind of changed my future moves with this car, which I guess I'll tell you about now. My future move was to take the car to my cousin's, pull out this 1.6, and just rebuild it with stock components and get it completely redone to where it's essentially just like a brand new stock motor. Pop it in and then just drive it until eventually I save up and put a turbo on it. But now with how bad this motor's gotten, I think it's smarter to just find a 1.6 engine, put it in the car, and either build the 1.6 on the side with some upgraded internals, or just build a 1.8, or who knows, save up. Maybe I can play my cards right and save up and do, I really want to do a J32 swap. That's the Honda V6. It's a 3.2. I believe that's what the J32 part is. It's a 3.2 liter V6, and part of me would wish I could afford going LS, which I could save up for that, but I kind of want to try a V6 swap. I don't know why, but lately I've been really digging V6s a lot more, which goes into the Mazda 6, which is an S Sport Wagon model, not very sporty, which comes with the 3-liter Ford Duratec V6, making 220 horsepower, not enough. For that, my next plans with that car is mostly just repairing a lot of things. It needs the passenger upper control arm bushings are so worn out that inside each bushing, you know how usually you have the bushings with two parts there and it curves around and then there's your upper ball joint. Well, the two little areas where you bolt that in, the bushing's gone, so it keeps rocking back and forth and smacking like this, and it makes the most obnoxious sound ever. I could buy them individually, actually. On Amazon they have them. It's a Moog. Yeah, it's the brand Moog. It has just one. You could buy them for just one. But I'm going to get both and do both of them because I already know if that one's worn out, the driver's side's probably going out. Then I need 2 new axles because when I'm driving, it's fine. When I'm turning without accelerating, it's kind of fine. But as soon as you accelerate, even just the tiniest bit of gas while turning, it clicks and clicks and clicks and clicks until you're done turning. And then I just need brakes for the car. So I'll probably end up doing the brakes first, and then just getting the axles and the upper control arms at the same time, because to do the axles, you got to take part of the suspension apart anyway, so it'd just be smartest to do upper control arms then. After that, I'm going to continue building this on the side. It's going to be down for quite a while, a long time. I just can't really afford to devote a bunch of money to rebuild the Miata, so the Miata is going to be broken for quite some time. And then the Mazda 6, I'm just going to focus on doing interior things. And while the Miata's down, I'm going to be doing that too. I'm going to be focusing on some side things. I want to get the engine bay degreased and painted. I want to get the interior completely stripped out. Like all this old dingy carpet, which I should have taken out a while ago. Take out these seats and get them reupholstered. Or I'm going to get a reupholstery kit and redo the upholstering on it. I want to. And then I kind of want to redo the tinting on the windows. And I do want to get these leather seat covers. I really like the look of them. And it gets really hot in Arizona, but the counteraction to that is tint the windows. I can't tint the back one, which kind of blows, but as long as the sun isn't pointing directly at the front of the seat, I should be reasonably okay. And then they have this newer kind of tint, which technically it doesn't even tint. You can get it in completely clear, but it blocks out more sun, or more heat, the sun rays, whatever you want to call it, I can't remember, which is what is actually hot. It blocks them out while still letting in 100% light, so I can get the entire front windshield covered in that, which will keep a lot of heat out of here, which is great because the car doesn't have AC, which while the engine's out, I'm going to be fixing the AC compressor. I'm going to save up and get a new one. It's $300 for a brand new pump and clutch. I keep having clutch issues with my old pump. And then I snapped the bolt and I just gave up on it. And then fix the, there's a low pressure hose on the power steering that's torn and lets all the fluid out. So I'm going to fix that so I can have my power steering back and I can have AC in the car. Because AC, when you're driving, it'll squeal. Or when you're at idle, it'll squeal. But once you're driving, it'll stop and it's ice cold. And then the Mazda 6, I'm going to be doing the radio, like I said. I'm going to be attempting to redo the headliner on the Mazda 6. I want it to be black. I want a lot more black interior. And then just getting the carpet cleaning out the Mazda 6. Carpets are pretty dirty, kind of gross. Want to carpet clean them out, see how good I can get them. And then that's pretty much it. Small things for the Mazda 6, maybe an exhaust, maybe an intake, and that's about it. I don't really think I'm going to modify it much because eventually I'm not going to be driving it too much. It's going to end up being my girlfriend's car. She's going to drive it. And I'm going to have to find a new mode of transportation. Which, if the Miata's still down by the time she's driving, I'm going to have to get a new car. Great. More car content to add to the fleet. Or if the Miata's up, I'm just going to start daily driving the Miata again, even though I really don't want to. Which I don't know why. I think I really like driving the Miata, but sometimes it's inconvenient. Very rarely, but occasionally it can be very inconvenient. That's recapping my 2019, which was overall not great, gotta say. Pretty poor year. And my next plan starting this 2020 year of getting both of my shitbox cars fixed before they both break, and I'm stuck with 2 shit cars, 2 nuggets that don't work, and then I'm Ubering to work again, which by the way cost me like $50 a day. So, yeah. I guess I will see you guys next time, which hopefully I'll just be doing the brakes on that car. So it'll be a pretty short video, hopefully, a pretty boring one, but whatever. I'll just upload it anyways because people get mad when I don't. Because you guys actually care. The last video I uploaded, somebody was like, finally some content from you, which is kind of like a backhanded compliment if you think about it. It's like, finally some content from you, saying, 1, I don't put out content, but then 2, it means you really care. I truly do. So anyways, I'm going to get out of this car because it's actually a little warm in here and I'm wearing a thick jacket because I didn't feel like putting a shirt on. And I'll see you guys next time. I can't sleep.